the video before, so I was going to also record on the phone just to make sure I made the most of our time.
Yeah.
So,
how do you know my nephew?
he and I worked together at Anaplan. So he retired last year, and I still work there.
Who's Anaplan?
So Mark Antrobus was the employee number one at this company about
right.
10 years ago.
Yeah.
In New York, yeah. So I still work there, and luckily I was able to meet him. It was very beneficial.
Yeah. He's like the absent-minded professor, isn't he?
I've not seen that. He always seemed very focused and determined to me.
Oh, yeah. No, he is. He's very clever. Yeah. Well, he's done well. Now he's a lord of the manor in retirement.
That's true. Even has his own tennis court.
I know. You have to come up and visit him.
Yeah, I got to see the place almost immediately after he bought it. And then I saw it again in February, and he had really done a lot of work on it.
Yeah. Just the furniture he needs is unbelievable.
Yeah, the electrical wiring in the place is going to, seems dangerous. I hope that doesn't cause him any health issues.
It's all 240 volts.
Has he sent you pictures of the breaker box where it says please call this? Yeah.
Yeah. And let's say it's all 240 volts too.
Exactly.
Not to be messed with. Anyway, what can I do for you?
Yeah, so NASA is planning to send people back to the moon in 2024. And I'm planning to interview a different person every day between now and the end of 2024 to see what they think about it and see if they've heard about it and if they have an interest in going into space. So maybe that's a good place to start off. Did you know that NASA is planning to go back to the moon in 2024?
I didn't until you told me, but you keep using the word back. There are people that don't believe they went in the first place,
That's true. That's true. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I said, I don't know when was that actually? When was that? When they went to the moon first time?
The first landing was 1969, and the last one is 1972. They landed a total of 6 times.
So I was 25. No, 1969. Yeah. I was 25, and we sat up in England, I was in England, and we sat up and watching the TV as the Eagle has landed. And I must admit, the movie looks kind of phony, doesn't it? The way it's blowing the dust out from underneath and stuff, and it's just, I don't know, it just doesn't look right to me. Maybe they substituted a movie for the actual landing wasn't as sweet. I don't know. I could be a disbeliever. I mean, Kennedy gave you a hell of a challenge to say by the end of the decade you shall go, and you were not ready, not in any position to go at that time. So it had to happen, and it supposedly did happen, but I'm not convinced it did happen.
And there, some people think because of like the Van Allen radiation belts that people would die if they went through them, and some people think it's even impossible to actually go beyond low Earth orbit. So maybe going back would be good to kind of prove that it's possible. But there have been pictures. Oh, go ahead.
Even driving around in the moon lander, it looked like they were on a golf course or something. It just didn't look real. It looks like it was Bollywood. I'm sorry, but that's the way I saw it.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting place. There's no atmosphere, so light looks a lot different. There, yeah. But I think if we go back to the moon and see the footsteps and the rover tracks and
Oh,
the artifacts, that maybe that would help to convince people one way or the other.
but are they going back to the Tranquility Base or no?
Now they're planning to go to the south part of the moon. They've discovered that there's water ice trapped in the poles. They want to go and verify that, and that could be a very important resource going forward for
That's
further.
interesting. Is it south from here or is it south up there? Does it have a magnetic field in the moon?
Magnetic field, I don't know. If it does, it's not a strong one. But
Then that would
just,
know where south is.
yeah, I think it may not be magnetic south, but it's the lower part whenever you're looking at the moon from here. So
It's south, yeah.
So what do you think about NASA potentially going forward to the moon, or to the moon in 2024? You think that's a worthy endeavor, or kind of maybe energy should be spent in a different direction?
I think the money should be spent in a different direction, but that's another point. I have a feeling it's a rock as far as we could see last time we were there. And we're not in any position to transport any material back and forth, I don't think yet, of any like mining or anything like that, even if it was found to be beneficial. But it's more of a rah, isn't it, again? American rah, look what we did, and we clever, I think. Good for the people, good for morale, but not of any use really, that I could see.
Yeah, I think a lot of it depends upon sort of how you see the future of humanity. I mean, are we, going to be only on the Earth, or will we actually go further?
I think we've kind of destroyed the Earth already. But COVID's taking care of the overpopulation issue right now. And it's happened many times before, with the Black Plague in England and smallpox and Spanish flu. And it's not the first time. In fact, my sister sent me a poem written in 1869 by a Kathleen O'Meara from Canada, who was talking about the people stayed home and read books and da-da-da-da-da until the earth healed and then the people healed. And she's talking about exactly what's going on right now, like quarantine and self-isolation from an epidemic in 1865, which flew amongst the native people when the Europeans got there. So I think it was probably Spanish flu, but could have been smallpox, something like that. And it was devastating to the native population, eh?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I don't think going to space is a solution for overpopulation, but Jeff Bezos has a space company. He's the founder of Amazon, and he sees space as a way to take all of those earth-harming activities like mining and energy production and move them away from Earth to protect the Earth. And I was wondering what you thought about that.
What? You mean populate another planet and do the mining there and utilize the resources on that planet? Are you talking about transporting rocks all the way back here?
Robotics is and automation has really advanced really far along. You don't necessarily need to send people.
You don't necessarily what?
You don't necessarily have to send people to do it. You could send robotic devices to go and do the mining.
And then what do you do with the material that you've mined?
Various things. Some people talk about using materials on the moon to generate solar panels, and then you could launch them into Earth orbit and use that to generate electricity and beam it down using microwaves as an idea.
Yeah. Certainly not in my lifetime, but maybe.
Maybe. I mean, the future is kind of difficult to foresee. Um, so if it was safe and affordable, would you have any interest in going into space?
No, I wouldn't.
Okay. I,
There's too much to see here first. I've seen half of your states, 27 states, 13 countries, but that's only a fraction of what's to be seen. And now, unfortunately, I can't travel too much. I got emphysema and need oxygen. So traveling days are limited.
yeah. Well, I was wondering if you had any additional comments or thoughts to share.
Not particularly on that subject, no. I have a bee in my bonnet about, as I say, I've been to 27 states and I love the people everywhere I've been. Everybody's, in most cases, God-fearing, hardworking, family-oriented people. But there's a faction, I'm also a golf fanatic until it went off the air because of COVID, but I get frustrated with these commentators who keep saying that they got the best golfers in the world and the best golf courses in the world, and they use the world like it's just, it's nothing. The word, it sounds impressive first time. It's annoying future times because you know full well what they mean is the best players in the PGA of America, not best players in the world. And they're not the best golf courses by any means. They're all manicured parks. They don't know what to do when they go to England for a golf course or to Scotland. I mean, they've never seen anything like it in their lives and can't play them either. So, and everybody's an athlete. I thought athletes were people who participated in athletics. But now it seems basketball players and baseball players and football players are all athletes. Like, overuse the word. But anyway, I get these, I'm old now, so I get these moments where I have to go right to the editor, get some letters published until I get it off my chest and then I'm fine. So that's all.
Yeah, no, that makes 100% sense. So,
yeah.
Well, Dave, I really appreciate your time.
What vehicle are they proposing to use this time?
They're creating a new one. It looks very similar to the last one, but they're creating a new one. It'll hold 4 astronauts instead of 2, so, or 3 rather.
A shuttle, you mean? A shuttle, you mean?
Oh, not a shuttle. It looks like it's called the Space Launch System, and it looks very much like the Apollo vehicle, but it uses some of the same parts from the shuttle. Like the rocket engines and the boosters are the same. For some reason, your audio cut out. Maybe it's on mute. No, I can't hear. Can you hear me? You can hear me? Is there any possibility that maybe it's just on mute? Like maybe there's a mute button or something? Because I can see you, and if you can hear me, then that's pretty